I don't know. Good morning. We're trying to do a live stream. Good morning. This is FPS. I currently have no viewers, but I'm going to talk. We're going to do a screen share, I think. We got some news. Daenerys Targaryen. I guess people are watching Game of Thrones. Oh, we got gender problems in the news. What a surprise. There's no telling. U.S. drug overdoses. Deaths reach new record high. That's obvious. That's obvious. Is this live? I can't tell. Yeah, okay. Live now. Alright. Okay, so maybe that's me that's watching. I wonder if someone could tell me what's happening. I feel like I'm just standing in a jail cell talking to my computer screen. Residents, I recognize that house. Residents of an exclusive San Francisco street didn't pay their taxes, so somebody bought their street. They're trying to make everyone feel like we can be sold. Literally, our land, our streets, our towns. And they are. It's very old. Remember, all the cities and towns are corporations, and all they're doing is going public, taking money from the Arabs. America does not own itself anymore. That was the whole point of the United States government and the Federal Reserve and the dollar. And we're going to have to fight for our land because people claim rights to it. But they bought it. What do you mean? We paid good money for your land. You sold it to us. Well, your government did. Well, you're going to have to move. It's war. We're going to have to fight a war. Because we've sold all of our land and all of our houses and all of our jobs and all of our kids and all of our labor and all of our minerals. Tesla's not building anything. Tesla's never going to come out with a car. Do you know how long it took Ford to come out with a car that everybody could afford? Remember, it was 1905. If you had anything that was any concept that was developed in 1905, you'd say, oh, it couldn't apply. It took Ford like 6 months to come up with a cheap car that everybody could buy. Tesla should have come up with a car in 1996. It's stalling. It's making you feel like it's dragging its feet. It's making you feel like it's happened. Or happening. They could have done it yesterday. It's unbelievable what people allow. U.S. job openings surged to record. Job openings. Not men working. HBO is being held for ransom? Interesting. Yeah, this is a big one. Well, I don't know if it's big. It's just clear. You got a guy that's pretending to be black. He's pretending to be an African American. And he's nothing but Semitic. He's a Semitic plant from Saudi Arabia. And he comes over here and busts up the quarterback position. Totally arrogant, totally ignorant, useless, and then takes a knee on America. He's a Muslim plant, this guy. Colin Kaepernick was Muslim when he was born. Colin Kaepernick's not black. He's not an African American. He's not black. He's not Negro, my brother. He hates black people. He's not even remotely black. That dude couldn't be half black. He's not a quarter black. He doesn't have a drop of African blood in him. He's Semitic. He's Arabic. He's a Bedouin. He came over from Arabia and was given to white parents in a white town and was raised white. That's a fake afro. That's not a black man's afro. That's an Arab afro. This guy's half white if he's anything. Remember, Arabs and Jews are the same people. One's darker, one's lighter. So he's basically a Jew, right? He's got a big old Jew nose, right? Exactly. He's a Mizraim Jew. You want to call yourself a Hebrew Israelite? I introduced you Colin Kaepernick, a Jew, not a black man. You guys are so confused. But he did this as part of the Muslim Brotherhood plan so that we would all take a knee on America. And 5 years ago, had you told me that, I'd be stupid. But he sat there and took a knee on America while everybody applauded because the media is in on it. Good morning, everybody. This is FPS. He stood up for us. Livingston told ESPN's Michael Ross at the time. What are they talking about? This is ridiculous. So then they just keep forwarding it and playing it forward. He should have been thrown out of the NFL like the third time he did it. The first 2 times he did it, it was during preseason and he was injured. He wasn't even in a uniform. So for him to be sitting down or taking a knee would have been customary. Not sitting down, but maybe taking a knee because you're injured, you're not in uniform. And most people stand and put their thing up, but like if you couldn't, you would have like a humble stance, and maybe that's taking a knee. But then when he came out in uniform in the 3rd game and he took a knee, no one was expecting it. No one's looking at the sideline. So it wasn't until long after there was the next day, there was a silent headline about, hey, did anyone notice taking a knee or whatever? And then he was like, oh yeah, I'm protesting because I'm black and I want to make sure the Muslim Brotherhood overthrows America. So everything Colin Kaepernick is doing is designed for Americans as a group, everyone, no matter what their color, or race, or creed, to hate themselves and give up on America, to make it believe it's failed and hate it and take a knee on it. It's not my America. It's a white man's America. Use Colin Kaepernick as an example. I mean, hi. Quarterbacks can think on their feet. You know what I mean? This guy's not a thinker on his feet. So he's missing the one thing that makes him a QB. And that makes me racist. Okay. I'm racist. That's not a quarterback. That's a plant. Nobody's going to space. Come on, guys. U.S. drug overdose deaths reached record high. This is big. Big. I don't know if anybody's watching right now. I can't tell what my screen's doing. But I'm going to get a cup of coffee. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Like this are up more than 80%. Fentanyl is part of a class of drugs known as opioids. It is also narcotics used in medicine. Some context, morphine. Fentanyl is up to 100 times more powerful. That's part of the reason it's diverted or stolen from pharmacies and hospitals or made illegally in labs. Dealers will frequently add fentanyl to heroin to give it more of a kick. It's called cutting the heroin, and especially if you're not expecting, because fentanyl is also 50 times stronger than heroin. It is so powerful that just a quarter of a milligram can be fake. It can also slow down your breathing and are highly addictive. So why is it so easy to get hooked? Well, for one, your body can build up a tolerance, so that the more you use, the larger dose you need to get the same effect. Secondly, you can become dependent on them. In fact, your body creates natural opioids that are released when you hurt yourself. But if you habitually use painkillers, your body stops producing its own and relies on the drugs instead. Try and stop then, the body goes through withdrawal. Consider this. In 2012, there were 259 million prescriptions written for opioid painkillers. Nearly enough for every American adult and child to have their own bottle of pills. But we need to treat pain. But we also don't need to treat everything with the pill. Over the last year, overdoses from drugs like this are up more than 80%. Fentanyl is part of a class of drugs known as opioids. It is also one of the most powerful narcotics used in medicine. For some context, morphine. Fentanyl is up to 100 times powerful. That's part of the reason it's diverted or stolen from pharmacies, hospitals, or made illegally in labs. Dealers will frequently add fentanyl to heroin to give it more of a kick. It's called cutting the heroin. And especially if you're not expecting it, it can be deadly. It's because fentanyl is also 50 times stronger than heroin. It is so powerful.
Well, this guy was holding it down for me. So the reason I wanted to go live was because when we go on the news nowadays, it's all happening so fast that I can't really put together a catch-up. So it's only sort of makes most sense to come on and see if we can get caught up. It's way higher than that. We shouldn't have overdose at this stage of America. Nothing should be available like that. Nothing should be accidentally found. Nothing should be too strong. The reason this is happening is because fentanyl, which is to heroin what high fructose corn syrup is to sugar, is being slipped into the street supply, and addicts are unknowingly taking it. And if you're an addict and yeah, someone charges you your $10 and you get your white powder, you're gonna go do what you do. It's murder. It's murder by the CIA. It's murder by the people who are putting. Where does heroin come from? Poppy. Where's poppy come from? The Afghanistan war. Why are we over there? Because we're fighting about. See, we're fighting about heroin. When people are dying of fentanyl on the streets, it's an act of war. They're being given it to kill them. Our citizens are dying. We must act boldly to stop it. Oh, Chris Christie. The first and most urgent recommendation of this commission is direct and completely within your control. Declare a national emergency. Oh, he's just blaming somebody? Of course. The national emergency. Yeah. 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 I always say there's no man in the history of the world that was going to fight off crack cocaine. It's hard enough fighting off what they call tobacco and nicotine nowadays. Cocaine, crack cocaine. You don't have a chance. You have no chance. You have no chance against high fructose corn syrup and white table sugar. That's that addictive. Good luck on the rest. We'll go to health. Sea bathers eruption. Sea bathers eruption. Is that a volcano? So apparently they're saying that coppers from those copper mugs is bad for you. If it's not what we normally say is when we make water pipes, we like to make them out of copper. There's a lot of you've been drinking a lot of copper. The Mayo Clinic, I wonder. Are sea fleas to blame for bloody bites on Australia? Sea fleas. Was he actually just walking through an ocean that had turned to blood? Because that's prophesied to happen, you know. There's probably shades of it occurring right now. I don't really know. I have heavy metal toxicities. Generally, we don't do well with metals. Yet, on the other hand, we have something to do with all of them. Parasitic cyclospora infections up 134% this summer. Yeah, infections, everything's going up. Like health. This is the end of the world. This is of God. This is of the demons and spirits and all the people that made diseases on land. It's all going up. More diseases, more death, more pain, more suffering. So then they got you trying to think that you need to be the bionic man and that your immune system can't work. And so now we need, they're trying to get us to reprogram our DNA as if there was something wrong with it. And there isn't. So the sign language orangutan dies. They want you to believe you're a monkey. This orangutan was just like you. Look, it could do sign language. It had emotions. You've never come across an animal that you didn't encompass its whole being. Yeah, some of it has emotions, it has thoughts, it has intentions, it has fear. It doesn't make you an animal. It doesn't make them human either. It's called anthropomorphizing. Making human out of something that isn't. Giving it human qualities. Well, the end result of that is that you equate yourself to it. You bring yourself down to the animal. 10-year-old piece of her braces in her intestine. Oof. Yeah, I don't know if anyone needs braces. You ever really slow down and think about braces? How many people had braces? Like everybody. I don't think we need them. Colorectal cancer death rates up for young white people. That headline makes scientifically shouldn't happen. Young people are dying of colorectal cancer? Yeah, there's no food in our food. There's no nutrition in our nutrition. So everybody's dying. And we're just being coached to think it's normal as we go. And then we got tuberculosis in Las Vegas. Every single communicable diseases is coming back. All the plagues. All of them. All of them. Full speed. On land. Most of them were created by man, and they're being reintroduced right now. with media coaching you to accept them. And the reason they want you to do that is because then they're going to have you take the mark of the beast and alter your DNA. Where's that headline at? A chip that reprograms cells helps healing, at least in mice. So that you're going to, oh, so we're healing mice. Why can't we heal humans? Put that technology in man. We're all dying out here. Can't you tell? Don't put that technology in you. It's only going to kill you. These are all headlines meant to make you hate yourself. Look, that's a dude. That's a dude. Don't trust these headlines. That's a dude. Would you trust a dude like that who was talking to you? No, you would not. You'd say, get away from me. You don't seem too healthy yourself. Ugh, mosquitoes and what we do. Multitasking much? Women's brains more active than that of men. Okay. Multitasking is a myth. I multitask better than most people, and it's a myth. People who do things well do the one thing they're doing at that moment. Every time. Every moment. So it doesn't matter if you're rotating in 50 different things in an hour. If you lose focus on the one you're doing, that's when you become ineffective. The multitasking are people who can't focus. Women have a harder time focusing on what they're doing, right? Right? Okay, so then they just tell them, oh, that's a multitasking skill and men can't do it. It's because men are always just focusing on what they're doing. It doesn't mean we can't we are multitasking. It just means that they're trying to make women feel better than men for absolutely no reason at all. And then this gets women to believe that men are stupid and disorganized and can't multitask. The one thing women can do is they can hold multiple conversations ongoing currently at the same time. They don't even know it. Because, like, if the media told you every day that you could do this, you'd believe it. But since all you hear is that you multitask, while you're failing to multitask every day, you're sitting there thinking, well, I'm better than men at it. And you look over at a guy and he's just doing one thing and he looks like he's not multitasking because he looks like he's just doing the one thing because he's just focusing on his hands. Okay, so women can have multiple conversations. They do it all the time. We don't even think about it. They'll be writing something while they're saying something to somebody else and hearing on the phone a conversation going in the other ear and keeping it all straight. They have a better linguistic command. If you ever notice a man, when he's like doing something, a boy from any age, like 0 to 100, if his body is physically moving and you force him to answer you or hear your words, he freezes. It's not that he can't multitask, it's that he does one thing at a time. And talking is like the whole thing. So he'll talk and turn into you, stop what he's doing, freeze, stop what he's doing, talk to you, then go back when the conversation's over. Because all that's accountable. You can't just talk over your shoulder at people while you're doing stuff. You could be making a mistake. You have to stop what you're doing. Women will never stop doing what they're doing. They'll just go, what? They'll make you keep repeating it, or being around it, rewrite it. Women will never stop what they're doing when you talk to them. Big difference is the language handling. It's not about multitasking. It's about like a frontal lobe ability to handle language. And that just being multiple threads of language. Like here we are with trying to figure out what to do about autism. How about we stop giving each other needles? Opioid epidemic. High-tech solutions compete for Ohio grants. Yeah, this is like, the opioids get people into addictive behavior. They drag clean families into the gutter, meaning that they don't have any experience with addiction and the depths that people will lie and go to and steal when they're on an addiction. And if they were doing that for crack, their family would throw them out because they're doing it for FDA approved, given by doctor pills. Their family doesn't feel like they're committing a crime, even though they know they're dying in their opioid thing. So the child or the person goes around stealing and goes around thieving, and then these people throw their money after their child. And so you'll see pills eradicate families. They take entire estates. They take the heritage of a name. They kill the family because the family doesn't have any bias against their addict. All the other addictions, their family grows to hate that person in their family because they're a dirty, filthy addict. But a pill is from God, it's health. You took a pill from a doctor, you should have been cured. So you take more. The reason you're not cured is you're not taking enough pills, obviously. So they'll spend these pills are like $90 a pill. That's not a joke. They lose everything. Everything. And they don't think anything about it because there is no addiction like problem. It's a pill. What do you mean? It's like a diabetic it's a cure. Pills are cures. How you can't get addicted to a cure? And they lose everything. But if it was something like, tobacco, I don't know, something a little, what's more appropriate? Oh, like weed. Throw that child out in the street. Because he's an addict. He's a dirty, dirty drug user. And so these headlines are only going to tell you that stuff. They just keep coaching your brain to be jacked up. Hate yourself, hate your family, hate your country. Cognitive dissonance against yourself. Playing action video games can actually harm your brain. Well, we talk about trauma. What age did you lose your innocence? Whenever you started watching Disney. So harming your brain is the trauma. Losing your innocence. The gaining of knowledge of good and evil. It is slightly traumatic. And video games are designed to do that at a younger and younger age. Okay, so pimples and staph infection. This is all very good. Pimples might come hormonally for that adolescent age, but it's not dirty pores or oil that causes the pimples, right? It would be a bacterial layer on the skin that should be eating that stuff up. But then you keep sterilizing your face, and so there's nothing to eat the dirt, and so then you get pimples. And then, of course, as you start to pick at it, you're going to get a staph infection because that's what goes on. In the absence of other bacteria, Staphylococcus will begin to take over because we don't have a lot that can kill it. Or most of the stuff that we use in soaps and etc. leaves staph and kills everything else, giving staph the environment, which could be your face. Healthcare in North Carolina is among the nation's worst. So healthcare in America has always been the bottom of the pooper. Okay, I don't know if you know this as a human, but having a baby should be what you're best at. And America has the highest rates of infant and mother mortality during birth in the world. In the world. Like, we're like 27th. There's only like 17 industrialized countries. So you're better off going to Sudan and having your baby in the dirt than you are in America. American healthcare is horrific. We have some expensive stuff, as in like we pay surgeons to do outlandish stuff. We'll pay them a lot of money to do crazy, risky stuff. So people come here for risk. And then maybe some skill. But you don't come here to like have a way of life. You come here to get sick and die. 'Cause that's all this page is about. Is as they get us towards death and suffering. This whole page is just so that you read it and feel okay about it. Frankly, you don't do nothing about it. You don't feel bad. You're being conditioned, pre-programmed. Science. Whew. Okay, we got the eclipse coming. That's right. Moon, Sun, NASA, planetary protection. What did Wernher von Braun's secretary say? That there was going to be spaceships and asteroids. And they were going to convince us we had to protect the planet from asteroids. We live on a flat Earth with an unbreakable dome above us. We don't care about asteroids even if they exist. Which they don't. Curiosity, Instagram. Perseids. Dude, Elon Musk is never going. It's like, what's Elon Musk in charge of? Electric car. We're not going to have it. SpaceX. Not going to space. Anything that man's in charge of is an ongoing failure on purpose. Oh, yeah, so when they start warning you that something's about to mess with our weather and our power grid, when you know it doesn't have the power to, they are going to mess with our weather and our power grid. So this is bad news. It's kind of scary. I don't want them blacking out half the country. Because if they black out half the country, that could be the day. Saturn. The other symbol for Saturn is a black cube, like in Mecca, what the Muslims worship. So Saturn's a real big deal internationally, plays a lot of rules in false religions. No one is going to Mars. We haven't had a man in space since 1972. Star Trek ran from 1966 to 1969. It was off air before we even went to space. Just pre-programming. Planetary Protection Officer protects other worlds from Earth. Humans are a bacteria, a virus. Earth is bad and mean, and we have to. Wow. 5 years of curiosity with new Mars rover video. Dude, it's in like Iceland somewhere. 5 years of lying to people. Wow, this is all space. It's science. What's in space? Oh no, Ghana, Africa has a satellite. Way to go. They just signed a document that now they're part of the NWO. Wow. All right, let's go to business. What do we got? Google, Diversity, Bill de Blasio, Valiant Pharmaceuticals, Tesla, Uber, San Francisco, JP Morgan Chase, Travis Kalanick, Michael Kors. The Uber, this whole thing is a real big deal because they don't want men working. They want computers automated. They want men to be subservient to computers. They want like a robot to pull up and go, no room, wait, and then drive off and splash the dude, and he's standing there and he can't even get to work anymore. All right, I'm going to take a 5-minute break. I'll be right back. All right. The Dow, Google, and Avis. Anita Hill. Here's the full 10-page anti-diversity screed circulating internally at Google. Oh, yeah, it's big. Oh, whatever is going to be made, there's going to be a lot of stuff that gets made out to be like white, and that's all coming down. It's all coming down. So if Google gets painted white, which it is, it is, but if it gets painted white, it's going to burn. If Google burns, which I told you a long time ago, they're going to do it like the Library of Alexandria, our history is going to be eradicated. All of our history is on YouTube, and Google owns YouTube. So if they hit that with an EMP, you don't know if you're a man or a mouse. There was nothing in it. There's no history or science. I'm not using you. Don't worry about it. I don't care. No, I'm not clicking on you. Go away from me. I'll watch something else. Oh yeah, this was that thing. Why was a waiting teenager left covered in blood? Yeah, that's a strange looking thing right there. That doesn't look like... Is that what they're saying about them? Yeah, man. I think this is the kind of thing where they used to not maybe eat us, and now they will. Remember that when God turns all of the animals and stuff against us, like it's not just bears, it's bees and piranhas, everything. So this is a lot of bringing that back up and getting you close to being associated with blood and seeing it. That's pretty alarming. We got some headlines over here. Helicopter sex film officer Adrian Pogmore jailed. Fairy curse behind dips in Irish road. Rare pink rainbow spotted in sky. Wealthy San Francisco residents lose private street over tax bill. That doesn't even make any sense. I do want to read it though. Google fires author of diverse memo on gender differences. Wow. So Google's really getting invited into the fray with this gender and class. It doesn't look good. That looks like it's going to be a big fall. Yeah, I might have been actually on that road. We'll see what the name of it is. I think I know exactly where that is. Presidio Terrace. Yeah, that's an unbelievable neighborhood. Tina Lamb and Michael Chang bought the road for $90,000. I want you to notice that for $90,000, it's only $75,000, whatever these other things are. The dollar is worth nothing. All of history, this was reversed, probably tenfold. $90,000 would have been a million of these other ones. America's over with. You got nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The street, parking pathways and all, was sold by the city over a $14 a year tax, which went unpaid for decades. Wealthy residents say they knew nothing about the sale until it was done. So how did the news figure it out? If they're selling streets out from underneath people's homes and it's rich people, like they should be able to have access to information to protect themselves if anybody does. How is the news figuring out that their street was sold out from underneath them before they know? That's because the system was put in place for this. This is just pulling the card, dude. They've set the hook and they are yanking fish out of the ocean. The result is that residents no longer own the road, pavement, trees, or any of the common land. Common land. This is a common law issue, dude. This is big. This is real. It might have to pay its new owners for parking. The terrace, an oval-shaped private compound, is seen as one of the expensive city's most prestigious addresses. It really is. I could explain this place to you. It's pretty unbelievable. It's on a hill, so that adds to it. This is a private road, man. This is not even related to The street, the city doesn't maintain it, the county doesn't maintain it, the state doesn't maintain it, the federal government doesn't maintain it. None of the rules apply there. If you see a cop car sitting here, you walk up to it and say, "Get the hell off of my property, you criminal pirate." And he's going to drive away as fast as he can, or you're going to put him in cuffs and he's going to go to jail. It's a private road. He's got no say. And the reason it doesn't like you bought it and made it for that reason. This is just the default status of law and freedom in America. It's just a private road in front of your house. You have to sell it. And then they people who own it have to put police officers out there. They have to buy security. San Francisco is a corporation. This is all really strange because they do this in Chicago a lot too. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm thinking. I don't really understand why they would know when to figure out they're losing their road. But speaking, hold on. The small tax bill for the common area was sent for many years to an address at Kearney Street in the city, an address apparently unknown to any of the Presidio Terrace's inhabitants or property managers. See that? They're sending a tax bill to some address like it's some other place. If the people live there and they owe the taxes, why are you not walking up to their door and handing them a piece of paper? Because they're trying to steal it. The small tax bill for the common area was sent to somewhere else, unknown to any of Presidio Terrace's inhabitants or property managers. Since the bills were never received, no one paid them, and no notice of an impending sale was posted on the street or delivered to any resident. He argued the sale was unlawful and requested a hearing to rescind the sale. But speaking to the San Francisco Chronicle, a spokeswoman for the tax office said everything had been above board. 99% of property owners in San Francisco know what they need to do, and they pay their taxes on time, and they keep their mailing address up to date. Oh my God, you just stole something from somebody and you're going to blame what? What? That is unbelievable. They pay their taxes on time. Why do these people owe taxes? They live there. How are they now? This is why taxes are unlawful. Because now all of a sudden one little mistake and you get to put a gun to that person's head and kick him in the gutter and say all of you and your family are dogs. You're going to go die in the street. You're going to go die in jail. You're all done for. All your heritage, all your life, everything's gone. This is why taxes like this are unlawful. You shouldn't have that amount of power over somebody. You shouldn't be able to talk like this to somebody about their family and their life and their house unless you knocked on their door and handed them a bill. Not sent mail to some address around the corner, down the street, up the hill, and now some other person's name. See, what they get to do is make all sorts of money off that, regardless. Unbelievable. Bluebird can't be reached, of course not. Pilotless plane, driverless cars. I hope you got a good job, dude, because you're about to be worthless. We're about to have major banking problems if Wells Fargo goes down. America's going to go down. Job openings. Where are all the people working? Time is about to go down. Blackfish. Whew, if you didn't see Blackfish, you should see that. We shouldn't be holding animals in captivity like this. Report. Chase. Scotches. Instant issue. Debit cards. I can't even understand that. A cafe in Australia is charging an 18% man tax. It's because you've had so many privileges in the world, you owe some money back. How does Instagram and Snapchat have $13 billion revenue? It's amazing. It's amazing. We're about done here. And then I get to go back in and edit it up and put a much shorter video up. So welcome, this is FPS. If anyone's listening, I'm doing a live news because it's really hard to do daily on the news and catch you up. And it's kind of pointless because it's basically live anyways. So I figure I might do these every now and then just to keep the dialogue up to date. Offering priority seating to women and charging 18% to men. Nope. See, you gotta buy in, sell out just to be part of the team. Climate change is a joke. You may die in pain. You're definitely gonna die in pain. Orlando toddler dies after being left in daycare van for nearly 12 hours. You know, I saw one of these in Texas with Muslims, and the Muslims were like, that's what we do in our country. Yeah, no, it's all normal. It's not a crime. If you walk in anywhere and say, no, that's what I do, it's all normal. It's not a crime. They can't charge you. They can't even arrest you for killing your children if you did it in the privacy of your own home. So it's, the point here is it gets dicey when you're in a public parking lot. Yeah. And the Muslims know that. So there's going to be a lot of... I mean, this is America. We're just distracted, and this is half murder. People are doing this on purpose because they're getting away with it. I've heard multiple parents say, I don't have any idea how you could leave a baby in a car. I don't have a baby. But apparently it's very hard to do because you can't stop thinking about them. This guy was texting, and a woman looked over his shoulder and read his text messages and saw that it was about pedophilia and called the police. If that's not, I know that, we don't know, but that's quite a reach of privacy. The Trump administration is censoring the phrase climate change at the worst possible time. Well, because climate change is, that word was made up so that when God started to do this, you didn't think that it was God. You thought it was man. So not only do you think that you're powerful enough to change the world, but it's also your fault. As opposed to reality. I don't like reading these. Arizona woman sentenced to death and murder of girl locked in a hot box. I don't like clicking on them. I think that's probably going to be it. There doesn't seem to be any real big news today, so this was probably a good one. We'll click on world, see if there's anything going on in Qatar. We want to make sure that Arabs don't start war too soon. We got North Korea distracting everybody and Russia distracting everybody. The real problem is China, dude. China is going to rule the world in like a year. And they got to make that happen rather quick. Look at this. Iranian drone comes in 100 feet of U.S. fighter jet. It would never happen. This is teasing, taunting, disrespect. They're picking a fight with us. Our army is spread out all over the world. We have no protection on our own borders at home. They're doing this in the South China Sea. They're doing this all over the world. Grazing past our face. They're showing everybody we're not to be feared. Obama let us get walked on. Now Trump steps into a situation where everything's an attack. Dude, these are what you call fighting words. So how is he supposed to respond to fighting words now? Because Obama let it get all out of control. Cover lifted. A CIA spy offers his take on Trump and Russia. It's fake. It's fake. She said, somebody must have, my server was hacked. Oh, it must have been the Russians. Oh, I lost the election because my server was hacked and people saw that I'm a pedophile who drinks blood. Oh, it must have been the Russians. Dude, Hillary lost the election because WikiLeaks released that she drinks baby blood. That's why she lost the election. And then she blamed it on the Russians. Now we're a year deep into some Russian BS.
She drinks baby blood. That's why she lost the elections. If you don't know what spirit cooking is, you can't have a conversation about politics in America ever again. If you can't out with your words define spirit cooking to a person in a conversation, you're not allowed to speak about politics or voting or election in America, especially if you're a Hillary Clinton fan. If you don't know what spirit cooking is, don't talk about elections anymore. It's insulting to everybody. She lost the election because she cooks kids. And if you can't figure that out and you want to think Russia did it, well, we're going to go to civil war. And I hope you're happy, because you're going to go to civil war and lose America on a lie. America is the only place where you have freedom on the world left. And you're going to give it up for a lie instead of figuring out the truth. Well, yeah, it's a serious topic. Of course you should do some research. If Trump vacation formula, work hard, play hard, tweet hard. This is just all trying to get us to feel like the white man doesn't do no work. He ain't caring about nobody. You know, Eisenhower started the golfing. He did it for 8 years of peace. He negotiated. He played golf. He made everybody feel like it was chill. If the president's playing golf, then, well, it must be a pretty relaxed situation. And then he would get people out there and talk with them. And half the time he was lying. He was going to a secret bunker to do real negotiations. So for a leader to be relaxed, you know, keeps the people relaxed. So they're just blowing this out of proportion so that we have a war. And we will have war. We're going to have a civil war. We're going to have a world war. And then we have a white supremacist rally with Airbnb. So everyone's drawing racial lines. What we're going to have is law and guns behind gender and race in America. In speech, which we've never had. It's over with, bro. Oil prices rise moderately. Oil's going to be $10 in a year. Gas is going to be $10 in a year. And it's never going back down. U.S. military to shoot down consumer drones. And it begins. And it begins. Okay, people. I think that's going to be about it. An 8-year-old killed himself. Hangs himself. See, that's all from Facebook. You wouldn't even have got the idea if you weren't watching Facebook. This is the final preacher standing. This is August someday. This was FPS Morning, where I do a light news review, keep everybody current and up to date. I've realized that going back and try to pick everybody up and get them up to speed is going to be impossible, but only because everything switched just about 6 months ago or a year ago. So at this point, it's just going to need some speed to catch up. And I can't do that on videos. I'm not going to edit a whole world. So I might do some live hangouts, and maybe it will engender some interest or commands and demands. It'd be much easier for me answering questions or just following leads and other people's directions and curiosities. But I got to make myself available for that. So I hope that everybody said their prayers this morning and ate their vitamins. Praise Jesus. Maranatha.